What is the stupidest way you've injured yourself? I'm a welder. I work with really hot steel parts constantly. But I regularly burn myself on the microwave meals I eat for lunch. I don't understand how microwave meals survive the cooking process. My leftovers go in for 1 minute 30 and it sounds like a WW2 airstrike is popping off. Microwave meals tell you to put that stuff in for 3 minutes, stir, then back in for another 100 years and they come out fine. Dark magics. Thought I could walk my dog on a leash while riding my bike. Dog saw a squirrel and yanked me off my bike. I broke a few bones in my hand. Doc was like, what did you expect would happen? This reminds me of when we first got our dog and it was my then 7-year-old's turn to take the dog out into the yard on the leash. But my daughter quickly got bored and wanted to climb a tree. She tied the dog's leash to a long jump rope, to another, and climbed. Edit to add, she tied the end of the line of ropes to her waist and climbed. My husband pulled into the driveway in the car. Puppy wildly dashed towards him at full speed. Kid flew out of the top of the tree, landed halfway across the yard, and was dragged the rest of the way. Puppy never broke stride. Bending over to pick up a paper bag. A completely empty paper grocery store bag. It was standing upright, not even laying on the floor. I barely had to even bend down to pick it up. Somehow this triggered a cosmic alignment between 2 vertebrae and nerve cluster, because suddenly I fell to the floor in crippling pain, could not get my back straight, and had to crawl to the living room so I could lay on the carpeted floor and try to stretch it out. I ended up ducked up like this for days and had to have physical therapy to slowly work out the pinched nerve. I was basically walking like Quasimodo for a couple weeks. People would assume I was in an accident or lifting some boulder like Hercules or saving a child pinned under a car. But nope. I was undone by an empty paper bag. When I was a kid, maybe 10 or so, I had recently discovered that the feet on my prosthetics could be unscrewed and moved into different positions. So I borrowed an Allen key from my dad and took it to school so I could unscrew my feet and show my friends at recess. None of them were as blown away by this as I'd hoped. Pretty sure they were just used to this kind of thing by now, haha. Anyway, the bell went to tell us to go back to class and I very quickly tightened the feet back onto the prosthetics, put my shoes back on, and started making my way back to class. As I was walking with a group of my classmates I started to notice my legs felt wobbly. I looked down, and with every step my feet were turning outward slightly. A normal person would have come to the conclusion, oh, I didn't tighten the screws up enough. But not me. I jumped to the conclusion of holy crap, I can control my feet like a robot. My excitement quickly turned to dread when I realized I don't know how to control feet. Been an amputee since I was a baby and they kept turning until one was pointing sideways. Despite this I kept trying to walk and after a few more steps the foot just fell off and I managed to slam the now footless prosthetic down, which jarred my knee and hips and caused me to slip over and faceplant into the corner of a cement mini wall, one of those waist-high walls. Being a self-respecting 10-year I started bawling my eyes out, which caught the attention of the new teacher. It's her first day and the only disabled student is in pieces. The foot got thrown backwards when it fell off, with a bloodied nose, screaming like a banshee. She didn't really know what to do, since I couldn't get back up, so she gave me some tissues for my nose and made a very confused call to the maintenance man asking if he knows how to fix prosthetics, so I can get to the school nurse. TLDR, my prosthetic foot fell off and I face planted into a cement wall. I dropped something behind my couch, leaned over the back to pick it up, and cracked a rib. Was in pain for a week. Getting old as hell. Bartender here. Reached a little extra to wipe the bar for new guests on a busy night. Popped a rib. 6 weeks later still hurts a bit if I sleep on it. Kicker was I then adjusted my breathing because of the pain, so my diaphragm became irritated. I adjusted again and then my abs started to hurt. Adjusted again and now it's diaphragm, abs, and obliques. That was the longest weekend of my life. I honestly thought I was dying that Saturday, but I didn't have a fever, so I figured it was a bizarre injury, which it was. Like I said, still hurts if I do it wrong, but the muscle pain is gone. Oh boy, my time to shine. Age 2, stuck an nail in an electrical socket. 3, ran into a telephone pole while riding my bicycle. Age 7, was playing with a razor blade that my dog had pulled out of the trash and completely sliced off the tip of my finger. Promptly passed out and was found hours later by my mom coming home from night shift. Please don't ask why. I was 7 and very impulsive. 16. Had wisdom teeth out. Apparently anesthesia stays in my system longer than normal. A few days go by and I'm sitting in the dining room talking to my mom. Everything starts going black and I manage to utter U-hop before smashing jaw first onto the tile floor. One side of my face was swollen. I looked a bit like a chipmunk. 18. Went to grab something out of the trunk of my car. My car was parked in the driveway, which is at a bit of a slope. Reached in to grab something, which I have done many times before with the car. Parked exactly like it was, and the trunk slammed down onto the back of my head. Nice little gash, lots of blood. I managed to make it inside before passing out that time. 20. Cleaning kitchen. Go to drain the water after washing dishes, and the sink strainer is stuck. Really stuck. I'm trying to pull it out with brute strength and managed to slice my hand open on it instead. This time I puked instead of fully losing consciousness. 29. Decide to be Betty Crocker and bake homemade bread. The Pyrex either shattered when I took it out of the oven and it hit cold air, or I dropped it. It happened rather quickly, so I'm not exactly sure. But I ended up with glass in my foot. I've just moved here. I know very few people, and my spouse is gone out of town for work. I have 2 small children and 3 big dogs running around the house. Glass literally from the front door to the back door. Managed to get a hold of a neighbor, who takes me to the air where they attempt to remove it. Notice I said attempt. They sent me home with glass in my foot and told me to contact a podiatrist. They were sure it was stuck in bone or a ligament. I had glass in my foot for 20 hours total, 3 stitches, 3 weeks in a boot. Not fun times. I now wear house shoes in the kitchen. 30. Walking across the playground. No holes in the ground, just a normal wood chip covered playground surface, and managed to fracture a bone spur on the top of my foot, requiring surgery months later. Luckily, I already had a podiatrist. Edit. Holy crap, this blew up. Fact. Yes, I'm a woman. Yes, I have good health insurance and a life insurance policy. I have a $150/300 personal/catastrophic deductible, and I meet it every year by summer. Reddit user C_wags explains why I pass out so easily/often. I did not go 8 years without an accident. Those were just the highlights. If anyone has a sub this would be appropriate for, I can post a few more, or update you all in 15 years. For your entertainment, here are a few more from the missing time frame. 6. Running around on the playground at school, all jacked up on sugar, because it was the last day of school before summer. I managed to slice the back of my arm open, from my elbow to my forearm, on a piece of a broken bottle. I probably should have gotten stitches for that one. 12. 13ish, was riding bikes with some friends from the neighborhood. We all biked over a small natural ramp made of stones between 2 driveways. I managed to crash my bike and scrape my knee up. It now clicks when I walk, and I can tell you if it's going to rain or drop below 40°F. 21. Got into a car wreck. Was approaching a light that was red. Slowed down, but did not stop. Light turns green, so I let off the brake and go through the intersection. Homeboy in a land hatch decides he can turn left and get through the intersection before me. Nope. I spun in my little 97 Honda Civic, the same one that sliced my head doing. I spun his Suburban. Walked away, but I have terrible whiplash that actually turned the curvature in my neck the opposite of how it should be. I have tingling on the left side of my body, from the base of my neck to about where my bra strap is, down my arm, and into my pinky and ring fingers. I see a chiropractor regularly, and my curvature is headed towards normal. I'm now a very defensive driver. 25. Worked overnight at a 3-letter drugstore. Went to warm my truck up before leaving. My doors were frozen shut. I managed to pull open the passenger door of my truck, but simultaneously whacked myself in the face and lost my footing and fell into the slush in the parking lot. The rest of my shift was very damp, and there was lots of chuckling from my coworkers. 3 months ago, I was baking cookies with my daughter. Metal cookie sheet. I learned my lesson and burnt my wrist pulling them out of the oven. My wrist is still scared. 2ish weeks ago, started allergy shots for my severe dog and cedar allergies. Had an allergic reaction requiring the use of my EpiPen. I've fallen off my horse several times. I regularly choke on my own spit/saliva/air. I frequently fall up the stairs. I'm always running into the protruding corners of anything and everything. Subsequently, I'm covered in bruises and scratches with no recollection of where I got them. My name is not Kevin, but it does begin with a K. My mother almost named me Grace. Edit 2. I forgot about the time I was in 5th grade and playing goalie for soccer in PE. Took a soccer ball straight to the neck. But at least I blocked that shot. Jesus, that was an adventure. I suggest a large plastic bubble.